What is up guys, Wraec here with a new video and today with a guide for the Combat Crucible. Wasn't too sure whether I want to make a guide on it, but I've now been asked for multiple stages for solutions for them, so I want to make sure you guys all know everything you need about this game mode. Combat Crucible, which is a new game mode. It's pretty fancy. When you first log in or first check it out, you will notice, well, you have a weird selection of heroes here, because those are the enemy units that we usually fight. And we fight our normal heroes here. The normal heroes have the task to defend the crystal, and this is also our goal for winning. We have to defeat the crystal. The heroes we can't really defeat, because what you will see is once we defeat a hero, it will respawn after a few seconds. So we have to build an overwhelming force, and we do so by placing those summoners on the board. We can have up to 5 different summoners, which we have in different tiers. The higher the tier, the more time it needs to summon. So if I, for example, place the Mistral Devourer right here, it is a mythic unit, it takes a long time to summon. Once the energy bar fills up, which takes longer than for a blue unit, for example, it will summon a Mistral Devourer. And when it fills up again, it will summon another Mistral Devourer. We can have more than one of those on the battlefield. So what is the best strategy to take this? Well, all the units have synergy with each other. They kind of belong to the same tribe. For example, we have some Gruglins in here. I noticed that the lower tier units often are not that much weaker than the high tier units. So what I tend to do is just go for a bunch of the low tier units and then add like one high tier unit to it. An example, by the way, of the synergies is this Elite Gruglin Hacker. He has an ult that allows other Gruglins to instantly reset their skill cooldowns again. And this only works for Gruglins, not for example, for the Bandit Warrior. So try to use units that pretty much look the same, with some exceptions. We will come to those in a second. So this stage is fairly easy. In general, the stage 1s are pretty easy. And for many of those stages, there are also multiple solutions. So even if you are stuck at this stage, just saying, okay, I try the bear team, I try the bird-looking heroes and some spiders or something like this, this can all work out. For some stages, it is a little bit more easy because you have super powerful units in there, and for other stages, well, it's another story. In general, the first planes doesn't have the strongest units in there, aside from one unit we are going to see on stage 2, but still, you can manage to clear all of this. So here we are now overwhelmed the enemy, pretty quickly cleared this. Took a little bit of time though, to say. But we did pretty good damage. So stage 2 is the first one where I would say we have a little bit of an exception, because on this one I see the bounty chief, and sometimes you will notice there is a unit in there that is just like the that you just know from the normal stages and know is very strong, and those units, take them. Like the bounty chief is super annoying, so definitely worth a pick. And then we just go with the full rest of the team right now, with like, again, low tier units. We could also take this guy. This guy is also Elite Gruglin Voodoo, is also pretty strong actually, so maybe instead of this guy we take this guy. And then we go in there. And I mean, the bird guy, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if we could just set him in there and let him solo this, because bird guy is very, very strong. And all the units, by the way, all those summons, they have ults they can cast. So we saw the little whirlwind twist there for the bird guy, and they all have skills that they can cast. So let's get through there. Bird guy already attacking the crystal, which, by the way, difference to Crystal Clash. In Crystal Clash you can only attack the crystal or reduce it to lower than 50% HP when all the units are defeated. It's not the case here. We can just straight up attack the crystal. And bird guy did very well here. Last stage for planes. The most difficult fight, in my opinion, in this entire thing. What we want to do for this is we want to set this guy, and then we want a bear, because this bear is actually a Gruglin bear, I don't know, belongs to the Hornleaf tribe, and this guy can command allied Gruglins to unleash control effects. Control effects work very well against Smokey and Talene. And then for the rest of us, we just set low tier Gruglins, and this should work. This stage is a little bit of RNG, because we have a very annoying Brutus there, we have a very annoying Smokey, and of course they put a Talene in there who can wipe our entire team. So thanks for that, I guess. Yeah, sometimes this just happens. Doesn't mean that we are going to lose, but it's certainly rather annoying. This looks honestly quite good for now. The CC bear really helps. I have to say that the CC bear really helps. Without the CC bear, our strategy can sometimes fail, especially if you're just trying to go for the lowest units. Yeah, sometimes requires a bit of a selection. So there we go. Yeah, pretty easy clear right there. Let's go for forest now, stage 1. We're going to do all the areas now back to back so that you can just find the areas that you want. Here we have the floral type units, and those I really like. We could go Gruglin again, but if you haven't fought this guy already, Corrupt Creature, bloody annoying. That thing is a monster and it's on blue. Let's just try and see if this guy can solo it. Because honestly, that thing is a little bit broken. Okay, doesn't seem like it. Oh. No, no, I don't think so. I don't think it can. I mean, it's not doing too bad, but I don't think it can solo. But it is a pretty broken unit. So we are just setting the Flora dudes. That basically is enough to clear this. This blue guy is OP though. Like we will see, it actually does a ton of damage. And we can summon quite a bunch of them. So, let's see. Please perma-stun, thanks for that. Arrows, of course, important. Come on, I hyped you up. Now show them that you're good. Can we at least get like super high damage numbers? But you can see, like, it is not difficult. Even though we had quite tough opponents there. Not difficult at all. Blue dude, yeah, despite being perma-stunned, it took away the highest damage. So it's a madness. Forest 2. Let's get into that. Last time I just went for golems, because they gave us some weird lower guys that just don't have synergy. Yeah, I don't know why they did that. But just any golems here will suffice. Just the ones that you like. Golems are interesting, because they have like energy. They are super strong until the energy is empty, then they are no longer really that strong. But you can see, as long as they have energy, yeah. Absolute slaughterhouse there on the enemy side. Now we just have to take care of that crystal. Ludovic there annoying us. Come on. And there we go. So, fairly easy with this one. With all the golems. And in general, like, they take the heroes that belong together and you are usually doing quite well. Next one. Again, we have our blue floral dude. Love it. And we select the other ones. We even got purple floral dude. Great. We could also select elementals, but if you have blue and purple floral dude, then you don't need any elementals. So that pretty quickly takes care of everything. And yeah, the CC ability of the purple guy is so insane. It looks we have enemy Lily May there, and I mean it hardly did anything. I think I'm not even sure any of our heroes died there. That was a stage 3. That was like madness. Okay, deserts. Well, no, that is stage 3. That's the wrong one. Stage 1. Stage 1. Deserts. I just went spider. I just went full on spider. Looks pretty crazy when we do it. Takes a little bit longer, sadly. But it looks crazy. So I think it's worth it. I think if something looks crazy and takes a little bit longer, I think that's alright. We get a lot of X there. So that's pretty fancy. Then we get a lot of spiders, which is even fancier. Well, the annoying Brutus on the enemy team, but you can quickly see, yeah, we have our little army there. And the enemy has no chance to do anything against us anymore at this point. So an absolute madness there with the spiders from the first season. Pretty cool. Next one. On this one, we have multiple choices. You can go with just like this selection with the riders. I wasn't too sure. Like I think I used this one last time. Those riders are insane too. Let's go like this. Let's go like this. I try. Did you see this? Those riders, I remember them from this story. Such a madness. Such a madness. They're like hitting an enemy and it's like instantly Half-Life. I remember them in story when they first hit me there and just destroyed my units. It was like in the first season where I was a little bit under-leveled. Yeah, just unbeatable AFK stages. And then they had this synchronization bug that I also remember, where sometimes the fight that was won by you just wasn't really recorded by the server, and then you still lost it. That was so bloody annoying. But that was that time. So we're also going through a little bit of a road of remembering here, which is kind of cool as well. For this one, yeah, we have Birdie Dude, we have Plant Dude, and that's really enough. We select some more. We have this guy, and we take this guy. We just take the lowest one aside from the spider this time. I don't think spider is that cool if you don't have multiple spiders. It's always insane how quickly you have like a little army when you take the lower tier units. Like with the higher tier units you would have waited for like 10 seconds before the first one would even spawn. At this point we're nearly done. Absolute madness. Okay. And this already brings us to sea battles, because that was already desert stage 3, and sea battles is already the last one, so 3 more fights and then we are done. For this one, I tend to just use 5 of the same. We have the core sea creatures here. I think for this one I really went with those guys, just like the full-on set there. We could have gone sea creatures as well. Yeah, I don't like this with the higher tier units. Always takes a little until they are on the board. Well, at least those guys are funny. I think I remember them from the quest where they... Oh, what did they do? Is that like the water white quest? I kidnapped us, I think. Yeah, I think it was a kidnap quest. I like how this gun guy just straight up goes for the crystal. I ignored all the enemies. I was just like... I think it was her. She just ignored all the enemies. Look how much damage this guy did. But this is what I say. Like, lower tier units here are not really balanced to be weaker than the higher tier units. Like, look at this madness. That's the difference. Sea Battles Stage 2. And, I mean, who wasn't annoyed by those guys? Those guys are bloody annoying. The gravestones were annoying. And then, I mean, we can just select those two as well. And that will work. But, I mean, like... Those guys were bloody annoying with their shields and not NCC not working. I mean, I had to reset my team so many times just because of those. Like Tazi team didn't clear, and of course it was because of those guys. And you can see how strong they are. If I remember correctly, they're getting nerfed next season because they would be in the AFK stages. And if they also have this ability, this ult, which allows them to instantly heal and get like a super strong heal up, which is an absolute madness. Yeah, for this we can really do the same again. Just like our sea-looking dudes, and we will be fine on this. As I said, these other stages aren't really that difficult. The first on the plains, the stage 3 is very annoying, but afterwards it kind of becomes more of a walk in the park. I mean, in 13 minutes we've now cleared 12 stages, so with explaining everything, etc. So we're now done with this. This was basically the entire event. We did every single quest, and those were like all of the rewards. So, fairly easy if you ask me, and I have to be honest, while I like this event, and while I think it's pretty good, it has some problems, and maybe we can take another minute to take a look at this. The first problem is you look at all of those enemies, and I mean with the method that I now told you, just like look which ones look similar and set them, and this works for like how many stages? 11 out of 12. It doesn't work for plain stage 3, but for everything else it works. Yeah, that is the thing. The other problem is if you want to try and read all of these skills, you just go in there, and then for every single one, we have like, I don't know, 15 new units, and you would have to read 15 units, all of their skills, to understand which ones to set best. And I don't think many people want to spend that time. So that's a bit of a problem. The other thing is, it is rather easy, because while I prefer the low tier method, what some people did was just like this move, just like setting the high tier units, and this apparently also worked for a lot of stages. Just like you losing those value units, and you take 20 seconds before anything really happens. You can see how long that really takes, and you can see the very much so slower charge time for those mythic units. But they are powerful. They are powerful. They have a lot more HP than our spammy blue heroes that we used. And yeah, so it can definitely work. and will bring you through a lot of stages. So I think those stages should be a little bit more difficult, to the extent that I think you should read those skills. You should be tasked to read those skills and set a good team, despite just setting anything. So setting anything is just like a bit boring, I guess. Other than that, I like the general approach, and I think it's a pretty good event. Tell me what you think about this event down in the comments below. I hope this video helped you, and with that, I wish you a great day. We'll see us in the next one.